Again, everybody, and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday morning, April the 26th, and time once again for the mailbag. And as you are watching this, I am nowhere near this office. My vacation week has begun. In fact, there have been some changes in plans since I posted the bulletin a few days ago. I think this may end up being a bit more of an extended trip as I'm gone, maybe a little more than a week, because we are making some interesting kind of changes in plans in terms of travel and where we're going to go and stuff we're going to do. So it could end up being a bit more of an extended trip, which would be nice for me, of course. In terms of the channel, look, I'm not going to be looking at this as any kind of a working holiday, but I am bringing enough basic equipment that will allow me, if I see fit, to record and edit some video while I'm gone, especially because some of the places we're going, are bringing out, like, the vlogger in me, right? Like, oh, yeah, I want to get some shots of that, that kind of thing. So, yeah, you can probably expect some content while I am out and about. I have also, while I haven't managed to finish before I leave town the Hummingbird Salamander review, I'm actually now looking forward to possibly recording that one in an actual forest. I think that would be a novelty. So yeah, so there's all kinds of... I'm not going to be neglecting my creativity while I am out having a good time, and I will be out having a good time, even if I decide to make some videos. So don't worry about that. It's going to be a fun time. Now, before leaving, I didn't want to leave you guys with absolutely nothing, and so even though this was an extremely slow week for the mail, I have like 4 physical packages that I can show you, so let's go ahead and knock that out. This will be a really nice quick mailbag. If you've missed any of the previous mailbags from like the last couple of weeks or so, go watch those. Why not? I have to admit, the views on those have been lower than average, and so, maybe if you missed those, watch those too. You may discover some pretty awesome books. All right, that's enough yammering. Let's open these packages. And we're going to be starting out with these 2 white envelopes from the Macmillan Company. Yes, this is one that I have really been looking forward to, a new space opera. That's my jam, it is. This is a book called The Last Watch. It's from Tor. The author is J.S. Dews. This has just come out, so it came out this previous week on the 20th. And it's the first half of a duology. And it's described as The Expanse meets Game of Thrones in a pulse-pounding sci-fi adventure. It says, underdog stories are a beloved trope in science fiction for a reason. There's something about a ragtag group of misfits banding together to save the world against impossible odds that eternally seems to strike a chord in readers. J.S. Dews' debut novel, The Last Watch, will absolutely strike that chord. Dews takes the classic David versus Goliath premise and injects it with new life in her absolutely riveting space adventure. Okay. Imagine the soldiers of the Night's Watch from Game of Thrones, faced with the high-stakes politicking and interstellar action of The Expanse, and you begin to touch on the first entry in the Divide series. Dews, a cinematographer and screenwriter by trade, uses her flair for the dramatic to stack twist after twist, compounded by epic space battles fought by uniquely compelling characters. The Last Watch focuses on the literal edge of the universe, and the small crew of soldiers assigned to watch it. That's a long way to travel. How far in the future is this story? It says, their leader, Adequin Rake, is a frighteningly competent war hero with a dark, galaxy-altering secret. Their newest recruit is a disowned royal scion. With more college degrees than good sense, and everyone else, they're the fringe elements of humanity, thieves, hackers, criminals, and soldiers who won't fall in line. They're all stationed on a poorly supplied military base at the edge of the universe, light years away from anyone else, with little to do. Guarding the Divide is supposed to be uneventful and boring until they notice that it's collapsing and taking everything with it. So it says, Dews' science fiction is equally packed with action as it is intricate deep space world building bound together by a motley crew of unlikely underdogs that you'll want to continue rooting for well after the final page. Okay. And yeah, as I said, I think there's at least one more of these planned, so it's a duology at the very least. So, okay, Last Watch now available from Tor. And this is also lovely and wonderful and exciting. This is the finished hardcover edition of The Helm of Midnight by Marina Lostetter. This is the first fantasy by Marina Lostetter. She's already written the Numenon trilogy, which is a space opera trilogy. And this one has also already come out from Tor. This came out on the 13th of April. The dark and stunning first novel in a new trilogy that combines the intricate world-building and rigorous magic system of the best of epic fantasy with the elements of a dark and chilling thriller. In a daring and deadly heist, thieves have made away with an artifact of terrible power, the death mask of Louis Charbon. Made by a master craftsman, it is imbued with the spirit of a monster from history. A serial murderer who terrorized the city with a series of gruesome murders. Now, Charbon is loose once more, killing from beyond the grave. But these murders are different from before, not simply random, but the work of a deliberate mind probing for answers to a sinister question. All right, it is up to Krona Hervath and her fellow regulators to enter the mind of madness to stop this insatiable killer while facing the terrible truths left in his wake. Lostetter's hunt for a serial killer set in a world different than our own, but with characters that feel very real, will keep readers rapt. The Helm of Midnight is a page-turning fantasy with just the right amount of darkness, perfect for fans of Joe Abercrombie, Mark Lawrence, Peter Brett, Andrzej Sapkowski, and Glenn Cook. Okay, and yeah, I'm actually really keen to get into this one. You know, epic fantasy murder mystery. Available now from Tor Books, The Helm of Midnight. Now, here is one that I have been looking forward to. This is in from Harper Teen, and it is the finished hardcover copy of Witches Steeped in Gold. This is a debut YA fantasy. The author is Shannon Smart. And yeah, this is one that I've actually been looking forward to for quite a while because I love the sound of it. And does it have a... No, they don't. Okay, well, I'll just read the flap. It goes like this. Iriah Adair has spent her life in a cell. Heir to an overthrown and magically gifted dynasty, she was exiled from her home on the island nation of Asia when just a child. But every day brings her closer to freedom and vengeance. Jasmine Carriot grew up dressed in gold with stolen magic at her fingertips. Daughter of the self-crowned Doyen, her existence is a threat to her mother's rule. But unlike her sister before her, Jasmine has no intention of dying to strengthen her mother's power. Sworn enemies, the two witches enter a deadly alliance to take down the woman who threatens both their worlds, Doyen Carriot. But revenge is a bloody pursuit, and nothing is certain except the lengths Iriah and Jasmine will go to win this game. All right, so this sounds very action-packed. Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart. It's available now from Harper Teen. And the final package has an Amazon smiley on it. Possibly some more Silver Shamrock horror? Indeed, that is what we have. I have two new arcs of what look to be short novels from Silver Shamrock. And the first of these is a book called Gulf. And the author is Shelley Campbell. And that is just a very moody, evocative cover. So let's read the back here. Again, it's going to be hard to read because they put the not for resale little band that's like hard printed on the cover right across the synopsis. It's just I don't get it either. But anyway, it says, 17-year-old David is fading from his world. Like a Polaroid picture in reverse, he longs to feel connected to something bigger. When his brothers discover the new extension at the rental cottage comes with a locked door, David finds the key first, expecting to claim a bedroom for himself, and then I can't really read this part. It looks like he enters different versions of his world in different timelines. 1960s muscle cars alternating with crumbling cottages. Okay. Except now the dimensional bridge won't close, and something hungry claws the door at night. David scours for clues to break the bridge, but each trip to the other side makes him fade more on his. Even if he succeeds, he risks severing his connection to his own world and dying on the wrong side forgotten. All right. I like that. It's a different sort of a take on the Portal fantasy, and with a very real horror bent, sounds like. So, yeah, Gulf by Shelley Campbell. coming soon from Silver Shamrock. And also in that package, we have this book here called The Crucifixion Experiments. The author is Gord Rollo. And let's see what this has to say for itself. It says, Jake Mercer's life is spiraling out of control. As a criminal profiler and one of the senior homicide investigators in the Oakland Police Department, he spent the last 25 years getting inside the heads of killers and trying to understand the way they think. He's the best at what he does, but constantly playing in the minds of madmen carries a heavy price. Leaving Jake an out-of-shape alcoholic loner suspended from active duty. Yeah, well, that follows. Definitely a price. Okay, so now apparently murders have started. Can't read that bit. Anyway, a violent lunatic who's making a game of nailing retired Catholic priests to trees and bridges and hydro poles around the city. Yikes. Torture and murder isn't enough. The predator experimenting with the bodies of his victims to further whatever diabolical plan only they seem to know. Let's see, broken down or not, Lieutenant Mercer just might be the only man who can catch this killer before the frightened citizens of Oakland start to panic. Reinstated back onto the force and trying his best to stay out of the bottle, Jake finds himself teamed up with 2 rookie detectives in what will be his most difficult case ever, and quite possibly his last. Okay, so that's like a common sort of cop story trope, right? You know, he's down and out, he's drinking hard, you know, his best days are behind him, he's depressed over one thing or another, but he has one more chance to redeem himself, you know, professionally and, you know, morally and all that. So, but I like the concept of this killer. So I'm not usually like my fiction reading, you know, for horror and thrillers. I'm not generally a serial killer guy, but this one could be kind of neat. But it is called The Crucifixion Experiments by Gord Rollo from Silver Shamrock. Okay, and there you have it. Not many books this week. I think it turned out to be 5 total. But a little bit of something for everybody, right? We had space opera, a YA, epic fantasy, at least 2 books about murderers, right? And some horror. So there you have it. You guys know the drill. Light up the comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize for review. Otherwise, if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe if you haven't done so. That is how the channel grows. You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's Army get little perks like getting early access on some of my videos. I want to thank all of those wonderful people for their additional support. I got 2 new folks this week. Welcome and thank you. I used the Patreon money to pay Matt Olson, my channel artist, who designs all of my wonderful thumbnails. So, again, very much appreciated. I want to thank all the rest of you guys for being the very best viewers in all of BookTube. And until I see you next time, whether I'm still on vacation or not, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy reading.